You're watching part 3 of the Rapid Developer walkthrough. If you haven't seen part 1, click here. If you're completely new to Mendix, check out the link in the description to create a Mendix account. Each page is set up with a list view widget to contain data that the user can change. After setting up the list pages, you may notice that you have 4 errors. We have those 4 errors because we have 4 pages with data containers, but no data set up yet. You will need to set up the domain model of your app. The domain model is like a mind map of entities with features called attributes. An entity acts like a cookie cutter for custom data stored in your app. The relationship between different entities is shown as a line connecting them with the relationship name. On the right-hand side, select Toolbox pane and drag an entity into your editor. Double-click on the entity and name it. Then, select New to add an attribute to that entity. Make sure the attribute type is correct. Here are examples of attribute types. Let's set up as many of the entities as we can before we connect those entities to the list view widgets. Double-click on one of your list view widgets and select the Data Source tab. Click Select and then choose the entity that you want connected to the list view widget. A pop-up will appear asking you about data automatically appearing in the widget. Click No. Now connect the rest of the entities to their respective pages. After connecting the entities to the empty data containers, there should be 0 errors. Now it's time to format how we want the data to appear in the list view widgets. Double-click on the text and click the Edit button beside the caption box. The Edit Caption pop-up should appear. Beside Parameters, click on New and the Edit Template parameter pop-up will appear. Click Select and then choose which attribute you want to show in the list view. After choosing the attribute, click Select. Notice the index in the Edit Caption pop-up is a number in brackets. You will use this index in the template box to display that attribute. Let's do this for the rest of the attributes.
If you want to see more walkthroughs like this, then subscribe now.
We just finished our first user story. Yay! Before moving on to the next step, let's mark the user story as complete. If the user story has multiple subtasks, make sure to check off those items. After you drag the user story to done, let's begin working on the next user story. On the left-hand side, from the App Explorer panel, you will find the domain model under My First Module. We want our app to contain data about training events, so it's time to add a training event entity to the domain model. If an entity has multiple words in the name, make sure there are no spaces between the words. The same goes for naming attributes. Each training event will have a course, location, and teacher, so we need to connect those entities to our training event. Click and drag a line from the parent entity to the child entity. A parent entity can have a child entity, but a child entity is only a part of the parent entity. In other words, a course is a part of a training event, while training events can have a course. This means that course is a child entity and training event is a parent entity. By default, you created a one-to-many relationship called training event _ course. Let's connect the rest of the children entities to the parent entity. Now, we will save and mark our progress. Now we need a training event button and a training event overview page.